Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, May 1st. We have made it to Friday, and we have made it to the month of May in this weird time. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your top headlines for 3 News from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We will start each morning, as we do, with the numbers from yesterday from the Ohio Department of Health related to COVID-19, so that everybody has an idea of where we are starting the day before we get those new updated numbers in at 2 p.m. So currently, right now, the number of reported COVID-19 cases in the state of Ohio is 18,027. And the number of reported deaths related to COVID-19 in the state of Ohio is 975. Now, as of yesterday at 2 p.m., there had been a total of 3,533 people hospitalized, and of those people hospitalized, 1,035 have been in the intensive care unit. Now, just a word off the top, because many people have been asking for comparisons between COVID-19 and the flu, and experts are hesitant to make comparisons between COVID-19 and the flu, but just a little bit of perspective. From October 2018 through May 2019, there was in the low 30,000s for the number of deaths related to the flu. And that's a 7-month period if you don't go through the end of May. So to be on the conservative side, we'll say that maybe that data ended May 1st. Now, if you look at the COVID-19 related deaths in the U.S. from the beginning of April to the end of April, it's in the 59,000s. So that's nearly double in 1/7 of the time in a conservative estimate. So just wanted to make that information known for people who've been asking for comparisons between COVID-19 and the flu. There's that for you. Now, Ohio's stay-at-home order is remaining in effect despite the changes that Governor DeWine has made for it. In a press conference earlier this week, DeWine did say, whether we're working or not working, what we do impacts our ability of being able to safely go back to work and get our economy moving. I've made the decision to have the stay-at-home order still in effect. So the changes today related to Ohio beginning its first phase of reopening are these. Healthcare facilities are now permitted to undergo non-essential medical procedures. At first, these will be procedures that do not require an overnight stay. Dentists can also resume work, and veterinarians can reopen their doors for non-essential activities. Those are the changes that we see effective today. Now, Monday, May 4th, general office environments are permitted to go back to work. However, DeWine is urging that if people are able to work at home, that they continue to do that as much as humanly possible until further notice. And manufacturing, distribution, and construction that has been paused because it's been deemed non-essential can begin again. May 12th is when we expect to see the biggest changes. Retail locations will be able to open. Businesses that will not be opening at this time are schools, restaurants, and bars. They are still able to stay open for carryout and delivery, as they have been for a while now. Personal appearance things like beauty services, that includes your salons and those kinds of things. Adult day support or vocational habilitation services in a large setting. Other adult daycare services and senior centers, child care services, and other things related to entertainment, recreation, gyms, and fitness facilities. Those are not reopening at this time. DeWine has said we need to wait and see what happens as we begin this phase in, and then go from there related to what happens with the COVID-19 cases. Now, I'd also like to say a word quickly on unemployment numbers. We talk about not having all of the data we need in order to properly understand where we stand related to COVID-19. We also don't have all of the data we need in order to properly understand where we stand with unemployment numbers. Yesterday, we found out that U.S.-wide, 30 million people have applied for unemployment benefits in the last 6 weeks. Here in Ohio, over 1 million people have applied for unemployment benefits in the last 6 weeks. But as you all well know, not everyone is able to get through because the system is backlogged because so many people are trying to get in. So those numbers are underrepresentative of the number of people who are actually unemployed at this time. This also doesn't include people here in the state of Ohio who are eligible for extended unemployment benefits, those 1099 workers, part-time workers, business owners, self-employed people. So there is a larger number of people who are unemployed here in the state of Ohio that are not being counted in that number. So we need to keep that in mind as we see those numbers coming in over the next several weeks, and as we see what happens to the unemployment rate here in Ohio. As experts say, it will get close to what we've seen in dire situations in the past. So let's just keep that in mind as we think about those unemployment numbers that came out yesterday. To that end, Cuyahoga County is now planning for budgets to be cut by 15% and a hiring freeze. Cuyahoga County Executive Armin Budish said on Thursday, "We must be good and responsible stewards of the taxpayers' dollars." Budish said county employees have also been given 2-week furloughs, so that's 2 weeks off work without pay. Budish said, "Some people have urged us to wait before taking these budgeting measures. They say that the federal government may give us more dollars that we can use to support our revenue losses in the budget." He says he understands that position. It may happen. He hopes it happens. But we're still working to make that happen, and it would be irresponsible to wait to start money-saving moves in the hopes of that money that's not guaranteed. Budish says he does know that cuts are hard and painful, and he said, "I can tell you for every month that we wait, if the federal government does not give us more money or more flexibility, it'll just get harder and harder to fill our growing budget hole." Former Vice President Joe Biden and presumptive Democratic candidate for the presidency spoke on the sexual assault allegations against him this morning on MSNBC. He addressed allegations that had been put forth by Tara Reade this morning on live television. Reade alleges, now I just want to put this out there right now, that I'll be talking about the allegations of what Reade says Biden did. So this may be triggering to some people, so just letting you know right now that I'll be talking about the allegations that Reade has put forth against Biden. Reade alleges that he assaulted her when she was a Senate staffer. This was back in 1993, according to Reade. Reade told the Associated Press that while she was bringing a gym bag to Biden in Washington, D.C., at a Capitol Hill office building in 1993, he pushed her against a wall, groped her, and digitally penetrated her without her consent. She said she recalled him looking surprised, and when she pulled away, that he told her, "Come on, man, I heard you liked me." These are Reade's words. Multiple people have said that they do remember her telling them about an assault or harassment and retaliation well before she went public with her story. This includes a former neighbor who said this week that Reade told her about the assault in either 1995 or 1996. Today, on MSNBC, Biden said that the former staffer has said she filed a complaint back in 1993, but that she doesn't have a record of the complaint that she says that she's filed. So this was on Morning Joe today while talking with co-host Mike Brzezinski, and Brzezinski asked Biden if his campaign had reached out to Reade to discuss this, and Biden said, "No, I have not reached out to her. It was 27 years ago and it never happened." Biden said that he will ask the National Archives to determine whether there is any record of such a complaint being filed, and if so, to release it. He says if there is a record, it would be at the National Archives. Biden also said this, "I am not worried about it at all, and if it's there, put it out, but I've never seen it." Today, Amazon, Target, and Instacart workers are expected to go on strike. May 1st is traditionally International Workers' Day, which often includes marches and protests in honor and in support of the world's labor force. So it's fitting that this would happen today. So the main demands of the people organizing the walkouts, or sickouts, as they've been called in some cases, particularly related to Target, we talked about that earlier. Their demands include more personal protective equipment and pay during the COVID-19 crisis. One of the people behind the walkout is Christian Smalls. He is a former Amazon worker who was fired after organizing a walkout last month at an Amazon warehouse in Staten Island in New York. Now, Amazon says that Smalls received several warnings for violating safe distancing guidelines before he was let go. A press release from the organizers, that's including Smalls, says this: "At the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, essential workers were subjected to exposure in our workplaces due to the lack of PPE, flawed policies, and dense safety guidelines. Because of the failings of our employers, many of our fellow employees have contracted this deadly virus and some have died." Target workers specifically, on a page for Target Workers Unite, said that they were not pleased with the way customers were acting in stores and that Target wasn't doing enough to stop people from continuing to loiter, coming into the store just because they were bored, and purchasing non-essential items, not wearing masks, and not doing the things that would keep keep the workers, as well as other customers, in the store safe. Workers from Amazon, Whole Foods, Target, Instacart, and Shipt, which are many delivery services, are being asked to take part in this strike today. WKYC's parent company Tegna did reach out to Amazon for comment on Wednesday and was awaiting a statement as of Thursday night. Whole Foods is also owned by Amazon. Now for some good news. Machine Gun Kelly, which Cleveland native there, is providing meals to Clevelanders today. On Thursday, the performer announced he's teaming up with several local businesses to provide free meals to Cleveland residents today, May 1st. So that's beginning at noon, so pretty soon here. Residents will be able to choose from 9 restaurants and select menu options while supplies last. Those restaurants include Black Box Fix, Jewel's Fine Dining, that's Jewellz, Barley House, Sub City, Primo's Pizzeria, that's also with a Z, Beckham's B&M Barbecue, the Sauce Boiling Seafood Express, Town Hall in Ohio City, and Sauce the City. So we have more details about that on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. You're going to want to head there right away so you can take advantage of that if you're someone who's able to take advantage of those meals being provided by Machine Gun Kelly today. That is starting at noon. Okay, that is your early update here from WKYC and our WKYC app. You can next catch us on 3 News Connect. That's with Jay Crawford and senior health correspondent Monica Robbins. That's at noon. You can find that on TV, on 3 News, also on WKYC.com and our WKYC app, also on Facebook and our YouTube page. And I'll see you back here at 2 p.m. with our top headlines as soon as we get those updated numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health. Have a great rest of your morning and early afternoon, and I'll see you back here in just a little bit. I'm Stephanie Haney.